welcome to The Kitchen Chemist. I'm your boy, amateur pro home chef Nathanael Levinson. Today we're going to be making some vegetables. Yes, I know. Sean, eat your vegetables. But I don't want them, Mom. It's because you were cooking them wrong. Okay? I'm going to teach you how to cook every vegetable and make them delicious. Alright? And we're going to use one specific one that I know a lot of people have hate for in their hearts. I'm talking about Brussels sprouts. When we cook, we want to encourage something called the Maillard reaction. The Maillard reaction is sugars and amino acids and other things, very complicated, but caramelizing, giving you that brown color that you see on the outsides of foods, right? And we want to encourage that in our vegetables. Well, the problem is, if you put something in water, boiling water will never get over 100 degrees Celsius, 212 Fahrenheit, right? You need a hotter temperature to actually start caramelizing sugars, to start that Maillard reaction that gives you that depth of flavor. So instead of putting this in water, which can't get hot enough, we're going to put this in the oven. And I think you should do this with all of your vegetables. Roasting vegetables is the best way to draw out their flavors. So you're going to want to take your Brussels sprouts. Now, you can buy these on the stalk, but most of the time you're going to buy them like this, okay? You know, a whole Brussels sprout, whatever. It's got a little bit of dead stuff on the end, so you're just going to want to cut that off. Remove any loose leaves, and then just cut it in half. Okay, that's it. You just want to do that for all of your Brussels sprouts. So Brussels sprouts are a vegetable in the Brassica family. Brassica family is your broccolis, your cabbages, your cauliflowers. A lot of vegetables fall into this Brassica family. Now they all have this unique feature, is that if you cook them wrong, they taste terrible. All of these, this family of vegetables has a unique compound in it called a glucosinolate. Basically a sugar that has some sulfur stuff added onto it. Now, if you don't treat the stuff right, it releases hydrogen sulfide gas, which smells like a swamp. So if you've ever walked into a room where someone was boiling cabbage and you got that swampy smell, that's why. All of these are called cultivars, so they were cultivated for specific features. And that's how we get all these different vegetables that are interrelated. So cauliflower and broccoli and cabbage. So cabbage was bred for the leaves. Broccoli and cauliflower were bred for the flowers, and so on and so forth. So now that you have split your Brussels sprouts, now comes that's the hard part. Here comes the easy part. So just dump them all into a nice big bowl. Now we're going to add some olive oil. You can use your tastiest extra virgin olive oil. I have Sam's Club. Virgin olive oil. Just give it a nice drizzle, maybe a quarter of a cup. Hit it with some cracked black pepper, and yes, you should crack your own. Any spice you buy pre-ground, as soon as you grind the spice, it starts losing flavor. Same with coffee, because there are volatile oils, there are compounds in here that will evaporate into the air, and those are what give it its flavor. So if you crack your own, you're going to get the freshest pepper taste you can. And you can do it with all your spices. It's a little bit of a hassle, but you can buy all your spices whole and grind them yourself as needed. Just get an old coffee grinder and use it as a spice grinder. And then we're gonna also hit it with some kosher salt, maybe 2 teaspoons. So kosher salt has a very jagged crystal, and the reason it's called kosher salt is Jewish food standards, kosher standards, right? You can't have any blood. So you basically put this on the meat, and the jagged crystals draw all the blood out of the meat, so then you can eat it. All right, so once you've got all your stuff in there, you're just gonna mix it. You can do it by hand, you can do it with a spoon. It's up to you, just get everything nice and coated. Then we're gonna get a sheet pan. Now, because we've coated everything with oil, you don't actually need to use parchment paper here. In fact, I would encourage you to just use a sheet pan as long as it's clean. And now comes the second most tedious part. We wanna put these all cut side down to maximize surface area contact with the metal. So the metal conducts heat much better than the air does, so we'll get the best crispiness if we put these all cut side down. All right, now we're gonna pop this into a 425 degree oven for about 30 minutes. Again, just keep an eye on them. So these can actually get really, really dark, almost burnt before they're not tasty anymore, but you do want them to get browned, little char on the top. So these are gonna cook longer than you think they should. So just keep an eye on them, probably 20-25 minutes. So our Brussels are done. This is a good level of doneness for what I'm looking for. Now you can go a little bit more, a little bit less, but you can see that the backs have kind of charred up. They crisped up a little bit. We're gonna toss these with a little bit of balsamic vinegar just to finish. A little bit of balsamic vinegar, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese just to finish them off. You don't have to do that. These are delicious as they are right now. That crunch, the crunch. Some of that Parmesan. You don't need the Parmesan and the balsamic, but they add that extra layer of flavor that just pops. These are fantastic. I could eat this whole bowl. Eat your vegetables, kids. They're good for you.